Hello world, I'm Twist, and welcome back to part 2 of Raw Recap and Review, coming from December 8th, 2025. It's Monday Night Raw from Kansas City, Missouri, and we get back from discussing the Usos, coming back as a group, letting the Dragon Lee and AJ Styles put them on notice that they're coming for the belts, and we get into a new segment with Stephanie Verkera being interviewed by Jackie Redmond in the ring. She gets her entrance this time, unlike last time when Nikki Bella attacked her. But she gets to the ring. Jackie's like, you won a Survivor Series. What's next? And Stephanie's like, she wants to fight everybody, anyone, everybody. She doesn't really have a preference. She just wants to prove that she's the best, and she says that she's the best wrestler on this roster, the women's wrestler on this roster, and it's not because of her Devil's Kiss, even though we do love the ah shout out Booker T. Then she goes on to name a whole bunch of women's wrestlers on the roster that I consider the best. Like Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, even names Nikki Bella. But she says all those people are so good in the roster, but who's at the top? Flexes the belt, and then Nikki Bella pops out, and she's like, I'm not trying to hear all that. She says her and Stephanie aren't done, and that she says, I demand a rematch. But then Raquel Rodriguez just ended all that, pulls her down, and just whoops her. Picks her up, slams her into the turnbuckle on the outside, and then gets into the ring, looks Stephanie dead in the face and says, anytime, anywhere, she's number one. She's next number one contender for that belt. And that leads into a segment after that where we get the Judgment Day. We got Finn, Dominic, we got Liv, we got Roxanne in the back. Finn's happy because he doesn't have to have his scheduled match with Rey Mysterio. And Roxanne, and then Raquel walks in, and then Liv is like, oh, what's going on, Raquel? Like, what you doing? She's like, oh, do I need to tell you about everything I do? She's like, nah, I just wanted to know, like, what you want. You'll be a great champion. And then she's like, okay, yeah. And then she goes to Pierce to ask for a championship match. And so Liv goes to Roxanne. She's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going to be going with you tonight. She's like, why are you going to be with me? She's like, because Raquel's fighting for the belt, and I guess that means we're getting the tag team belts. So she says, okay, so I need to be on your side. And then that lets us know that the next step, that she's going to be being her manager. And that leads on to our next segment, which is our third match of the night. We're going to have Lyra Valkyria with Bayley versus Roxanne Perez with Liv Morgan. The match starts off with Lyra doing a lot of joint manipulation on Roxanne Perez, doing a lot of arm bars and moves like arm bars and positions like that. But then that leads to Roxanne being the heel, slaps Lyra, trying to get her into it. But Lyra's not phased. She proceeds to leg sweep Roxanne and then does a northern light suplex on her. After that, Roxanne retreats to the outside. So Lyra tries to go for the sliding drop kick, but she gets caught. Boom. Roxanne pulls her down. She gets her arm big slam into the steel steps, which becomes a very big focus in the rest of the match. And we get to the commercial break. Back from the commercial break, we get Roxanne working back on that arm, doing an arm bar, but Lyra gets out of it. She starts her comeback. While in the comeback, Roxanne gets Lyra down, tries to go for a reverse cartwheel kick, but Lyra reverses it, gets Roxanne back outside, actually hits her sliding drop kick, gets on the top rope, goes for a top rope cross body. Boom, 1, 2, only get a 2 count. Once she gets her 2 count, Roxanne actually does get her cartwheel kick in, but that only gets a 2 count. Roxanne gets back into doing the armbar again, but this time Lyra gets out of it, and as she's holding Roxanne's leg, she turns into a German suplex. Liv gets on the apron to try to distract the ref. Bayley's not having it. She attacks Liv. Roxanne sees Bayley attacking Liv. She gets to attack Bayley. Lyra turns that into an advantage for herself. She gets Roxanne into a roll up. 1, 2, kick out. After the kick out, Lyra tries to go for Nightwing. Roxanne gets out of it, tries to go for a pin. Roll up, but as she's roll up, Lyra reverses that and gets into her O'Connor roll. As she 1, 2, but Roxanne kicks out of her, but she launches her into the apron where Liv Morgan is. Liv Morgan hits her with a kick. Boom. Roxanne picks up Lyra, gets the pop rocks. 1, 2, 3. That's the finish. Roxanne gets the win. And Judgment Day are up. I'm gonna give that a 3.5. It was a pretty enjoyable match. I do enjoy that they had a main focus on focusing on the arm of of this move. I love when wrestlers are able to sell injuries and they actually work on doing it. Like, so whenever like Lyra would have to do something, including that arm, she would like grimace in pain, actually show it. So I really enjoyed that. So it was a good overall match by these ladies. Next up, we get another vignette with Maxine Dupree in the dungeon with Natalya, and and this time we have a Maxine who's putting up streaks. She's beating like 3 or 4 women in a row, making them submit. She's like, again, another one, and she gets to the final boss, Natalya, and actually she makes Natalya tap out, and it ends off pretty cool. She's like, again. So it looks like Maxine is gonna be on another level when she comes back, and she's probably most likely gonna come back next week, like if she's beating Natalya in her own dungeon, but we'll see. Now we're on to our main event with LA Knight, yeah, against the Maverick Logan Paul, and we actually get an LA Knight entrance, but we skipped Logan Paul's entrance, which is pretty funny. And before the match even begin, of course, Logan has to get a cheap shot in. But LA Knight's not gonna be down for long. He gets out of it. He gets back into. He gets his momentum back. He gets a big clothesline. LA Knight does a suplex on Logan off from the apron. That leads to Logan Paul getting outside of the ring. LA Knight does another apron clothesline on the outside. He proceeds to try to clear up the announce table. Logan Paul attacks him, stops him, slams him to the apron. He gets back in the ring, flexing. But LA Knight's not going down for that. He pulls him down, gets it back on the announce table. Bam, 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 bam. Slamming his head on there, flexing on him. LA Knight gets Logan back in the ring. He does a diving shoulder tackle above the ropes. It only gets a 2 count. After the kick out, LA Knight tries to go for a reverse slam. Logan reverses out of it, actually lands a zigzag on LA Knight for a 2 count, and that's how we get on to the commercial break. We get back from commercial break. Logan has the advantage at first, but then LA Knight gets his comeback. He starts getting to the punches. Yeah. But Logan stops the momentum by reversing it and slamming LA Knight into the ropes. And also does a pretty cool move where he does a reverse powerbomb, like a regular powerbomb. You slam forward, but again, he slams it backwards, but that leads to a 2 count. Then LA Knight gets into his comeback, tons of clotheslines, tons of slams. He throws Logan into the turnbuckle, bam, slam, jumping neck breaker, boom, but only gets a 2 count. But LA Knight gets Logan Paul on the top rope, tries to go for a slam, but the Bronze pop out. Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker pop out. That leads to LA Knight getting distracted. Logan Paul knocks LA Knight down. He proceeds to hit a crossbody. You only get a 2 count off of that, though. After the distraction, you get a big elbow from LA Knight, but that leads to the Bronze getting on the apron. Breaker gets on the apron. The ref stops him, which leads to Bronson Reed on the other side of the ring, catching LA Knight, laying a punch on him. But the ref isn't dumb. The ref catches on, sees both of them on the apron. He says, okay, you get the fuck out of here. During that fiasco, Logan Paul is on the outside of the ring, but LA Knight proceeds to do the sliding drop kick, and he gets Logan Paul back on the announce table. But then the Masked Man appears again. Curb stomp on the announce table. Paul gets on the turnbuckle because the Masked Man threw LA Knight back into the ring. Logan Paul hits his frog splash. 1, 2, 3. Logan Paul wins. That was a pretty entertaining match. I think I'm going to give that also a 3.5. Pretty entertaining back and forth. LA Knight proceeds to always put on good performances even though the booking hates him. He gets bad booking every time. It sucks to see him keep losing. The only way his bad booking would work is if he wins the Royal Rumble, and he's not going to win the Royal Rumble. But so I digress. But so yes, that is the main event, but that's not the end of the show. After the pinfall, division get into the ring. They get back in the ring. They spear LA Knight, and then we get two tsunamis on LA Knight, and that leads to Paul Heyman getting to the ring with the mic. And it's funny how I guess like the producer or so was like you can have a mic, but you're not going to commercial break. He said I'll keep talking while we're in a commercial break, and it actually goes into a commercial break, which is pretty funny. That leads to Paul Heyman gets back into the ring, and he's also again like he did last week, hampering on that January 5th, Bronson. January 5th, Braun Breaker versus CM Punk. Braun Breaker is going to win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And then at least Braun getting another promo, and a pretty good promo too. He's like, where is CM Punk? And he says, I don't mean physically. He says, I mean the old CM Punk. He says he doesn't like this new nice guy CM Punk. He thinks he's a fraud. He doesn't really believe in it. He said he's like the type of guy, like wants to help the youth and like take pictures in the backstage. He said, I don't want none of that. He said he wants the old one. He says when he fights him on the 5th in January, that if he fights the now CM Punk, it's gonna be too easy. He don't even want to deal with that. He said you might as well just stay home and give me the belt. He said he want that 2011, that 2012, that 2013 CM Punk, that menace CM Punk. He said he want the CM Punk that put fear in people's heart. He said he even got on his knees. He said, I beg you, CM Punk, please bring that back. He even said something goofy about how he says CM Punk is like all super straight edge and doesn't smoke, but he comes around looking like a crackhead. I was like, that's funny. the promo very poignant. He says I'm gonna Braun break you, which is hilarious. I'm gonna Braun break you. He said he's gonna take everything from you. He said shit. He said, hey, I might even take your wife from you. And I said, ooh. You know that boy Punk don't play about AJ Lee. He don't play about her. So like, he definitely gonna be there on that next Raw talking his shit. He has to be, because ain't no way you gonna let him slide with that. But then they go back to backstage where a clip of LA Knight. They're trying, because after LA Knight got attacked, they carried him away. But LA Knight, he said, no, I'm good. Get off me. So Bronson Reed and Logan Paul proceed to go backstage while he's talking. And Braun Breaker says he has one more thing to say. You just need to remember, spear, 1, 2, 3. Spear, 1, 2, 3. Rips his shirt off. Spear, 1, 2, 3. Then we get backstage, and then Bronson Reed and Logan Paul beat up LA Knight. Then they slam him on the table. But the thing is, LA Knight, he don't got no quit in him. They keep saying, hey, bro, just stay down. He don't want to stay down. So they pick him up again. They start throwing him into cars. Logan puts LA Knight on a car, and Bronson Reed does a tsunami on the car. And that's how we end the show, with Adam Pearce and company screaming for medical help as LA Knight just got tsunamied on a car. So that's the end of the show, man. It makes Bronson Reed and the rest of the division look really strong. Surprisingly, no one helped LA Knight. So I wonder how that's going to be telling. But yeah, overall, pretty good show. I enjoyed it. The absence of CM Punk is getting interesting. I'm pretty sure he'll be there next week, though. Especially if that man said he going to take your wife, man. You got to be back there. Yeah, but that's going to be end of part 2. I hope you enjoyed today's Raw recap and review. If you did, like the video, please. Comment your favorite part that happened in the episode. We can have a discussion about what you think is going to be happening next. Maybe your prediction of what's going to happen with John Cena and Gunther. And if you love content like this, subscribe to the channel, man. Join the haters, man. Again, I'm Twist. And I don't really know how to end these videos, man, except with toodles.